Matavanero and Poi Bueno are two neighboring villages in the mountains of northwest Spain, lying 1,000 meters above sea level. After a village fire in the last century, the villages were abandoned for 20 years. In 1989, people from the Rainbow Movement settled there and began to rebuild the village. Their idea was to live and work in cooperation with each other and with nature. For 12 years, Matavanero has been acknowledged as a municipality with its own mayor. It provides funding for projects and infrastructure. There is an organic market, a bakery, and a library. In the village-owned kindergarten and school, special educational principles are applied by the two teachers in their daily interaction with the children. Transport of materials to and from the village is accomplished by a cable system that works with gravity, using no electricity, simply by sending down a bundle that weighs twice as much as that which is intended to be brought up the cable and into the village.
Lebe jetzt hier seit 13 Jahren.
I've lived here for 13 years, and what holds me here the most is the fact that we have such a very simple life, that we're in an original, untouched and natural place, where you can't hear a highway or feel asphalt under your feet. There are no cars in the village, and the parking lot is a 15-minute walk away. I live in a wooden house, and when I walk out of the house, there's the soil right there in front of me, and I enjoy that about being here. I looked for that in Germany and in Europe, but I didn't find it. I come from an area in Germany where there are many highways, and I had to get away from that. Here in Spain, there are still many empty villages, and there are possibilities to go and live in them, to start a new life. We enjoy the freedom we have here to build our houses the way we want to. Everyone creates his own little home and lives in closer contact with nature. Because I live in a wooden house which is breathing, I have the feeling that I'm always connected with the tides, with the rain, the snow, and the sun. I have my garden just next to here. Actually, everybody has a garden here. We all make jams. I split wood, and for a few hours every day I'm outside. In this way, I stay directly connected with nature. And I realize each time I go to Germany for a month My senses close down because there's so much outer stimulation. I have to close myself. When I come back here, it takes a few days, and then suddenly I realize that something has opened again, and I feel much more alive, more vivid. This is something that brings a higher quality of life. I feel much more alive here.
Hier für mich mehr Lebensqualität ausmacht. Ich fühle mich viel lebendiger hier.
Hier sind es ganz viel Felsen und es ist irgendwie hart, ne? Und wenn du ganz viel Erde hast, weiche, dann bist du auch irgendwie weich.
Here there are a lot of rocks and it's somehow hard. If instead there's soft earth, then there's a soft absorption. But here, because of the rocks, it's somehow more confrontational. Of course, in the end, that means with yourself. We have permanent mirrors here, reflections. How far can a human being go with destruction? I'm actually learning more and more to accept this because it's necessary. Development goes through that. That's my insight now. For a long time, I was afraid of violence, and the closer I came to this issue, the more I realized that you have to go through it so that you can get out of it. Then you understand history. Why did this whole violence happen on Earth? Why all these wars? Why have human beings slaughtered each other? Why do they still slaughter animals? I can practically answer all these important questions for myself here. I can actually give myself the answer, and then I discover wisdom in myself. And you know, suddenly it becomes clear that the answers are really in myself, and I feel relief, because in the end, nothing can be destroyed. It's all just transformation. That's how I see it then.
Weißt du, dann kommt auf einmal das raus, dass die Antworten wirklich in mir liegen. Ne? Und dann kriege ich eine Erleichterung und merke, alles eigentlich zerstört kann am Schluss nichts werden. Das ist alles nur
Finally, I meant I don't have fear that the earth is destroyed. I'm not afraid of tidal waves, not of earthquakes, and not of atomic energy. Actually, I'm not afraid of anything, because everything I could fear is in myself. Montevenero helped me tremendously to gain this insight. The people act as a mirror. I really have to say that I can snuggle much closer with Mother Earth here than I could in Austria. It's so free somehow to have this feeling that you can lie down here. This doesn't belong to anybody. Nobody owns it. Here you really can be as you want to be.
Das gehört keinem hier. Hier kannst du mal sein, wie du willst.
Ja, ich lebe hier jetzt seit 2,25 Jahren in Montevenero.
I have lived for more than 2 years in Montevenero, and I have chosen this place because I was searching for an extraordinary community. Most communities have a particular vision, spiritual, political, ecological, and this can produce stiffness, dogma. The lack of dogma in Montevenero is what holds me here. Here there is the principle that the freedom of one individual ends where the freedom of another begins. I try to live this principle here.
Und hier das Prinzip für mich gilt, die Freiheit des Einzelnen hört da auf, wo die Freiheit des anderen beginnt. Und das versuche ich hier ja, vorzuleben und mitzuleben.
Pues llevo unos 19 años viviendo y
I've lived here for 19 years. I had many reasons for coming here. The most important reason that I stay is because I see so much potential and so many possibilities. It's possible to have an ecological garden from which I can live. I like this idea. At the moment, we're building and restoring the paths in the village. We've come together as friends who have decided to work together on this, and now we're here.
Restauración, mantenimiento de los caminos del pueblo. Nos juntamos, unos amigos, hemos decidido trabajar juntos hoy, pues aquí estamos. Ajá.
Long and short-term visitors to Montevenero's nature paradise are welcome year-round. The best time to visit Montevenero is from May to September, but the mountains are also inviting in the wintertime.
Es ist schön, es ist anstrengend, aber es ist schön.
Ja, also ich bin die Maine von der Finca Tierra. Ich habe diesen Platz vor 10 Jahren gegründet.
I am Maina from Finca Tierra. I founded this place 10 years ago. What were my reasons for that? Well, first, for health reasons. I thought to myself, I want to be somewhere where it is still possible to live with fresh air and fresh water, where other people can come and live with me. Another reason was that I come from a chaotic family, and I wanted to found my own family, out of individuals who are free from old patterns, or at least who are willing to let go of them. People who want to live a new vision in peace and within a community where we can feel good. It had to be in nature, because that was a big desire of mine, ever since I felt the comfort of my grandmother's garden. Yes, and then I searched for such a place, pretty much worldwide, and finally I landed on the Canary Islands. It came to me quickly then that my search had ended, and then something like a vision came to me. It almost felt like it wasn't my own will anymore. It came to me while I was meditating about this place. Yes, do it. It is important to do it, and it will not be easy, but do it. You have it now, you can do it. So I bought this property, and as I was buying it, I felt like a bride who had married this place, and I ran through the city with a bunch of flowers. And then, of course, I thought in the German way that within the next years a seminar center will be built up and be finished. It didn't happen in that way. Instead, it was a long growth process with many challenges that brought me to where I am now. For example, I don't have fear in front of authorities anymore. I know that someone can realize her dreams if she believes and is persistent and patient and has good nerves. Like this, I could hold it all through the years. And then exactly in the right moments, the right people came to help me. Men and women who shared my vision. And eventually, a changing community developed. At the moment, we're a very small group of 3 people, just me and 2 men. One is my partner, the other is our gardener. And around us, a kind of flowing community is forming. A circle of friends who don't live here permanently, but always come here to live and help for shorter or longer periods. They're helping to build up the center and this place. They care for it. There's also the village community, which we are strongly connected.
Aufzubauen und zu pflegen. Und darüber hinaus gibt es eben noch die Dorfgemeinschaft, mit der wir stark verbunden sind.
Wir von der Finca Tierra fühlen uns auch stark verbunden mit der größeren Gemeinschaft unseres Dorfes hier. Dort leben inzwischen
We from Finca Tierra feel ourselves also to be strongly connected with the larger community of our village. In the neighborhood are some Germans, a lot of single people, new families, and also families who have been here for many years and who have worked hard. There is a beautiful exchange of services, of products, and we just feel very comfortable here.
Und wir fühlen uns hier einfach sehr wohl.
For me, it was very important from the beginning, and it has evolved quite naturally, that this place is also a female place. On one hand, it was founded by a woman with the help of female friends who often visited the place, and on the other hand, it is expressed in the external through all these nice round forms. I really had to insist on those because the authorities wanted to have everything normal and square, with corners everywhere. But for me, the roundness of the houses and forms was very important. The softness and harmony integrated with nature. From a spiritual standpoint, it is nourishing, caring, the way we treat Mother Earth, not with violence, but in a loving way. Similar to the loving in the contact with each other. And about this, I want to say that also the men who have come here have recognized these inner qualities and appreciated being at the kind of place where this is considered important. I just love it here, though sometimes I was so exhausted that I thought, I can't do it anymore. But things always kept happening. New energy and new people or new possibilities came. And after 9 years, I heard from the authorities that I'm exactly in the right place to be building such an ecotourism project. Of course, this was a big confirmation that my intuition 10 years before was exactly right.
10 Jahren genau die richtige war.
Darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. Stand by me. Son amor, amor, ese camino en una palabra. Amar a tu prójimo como a ti mismo. Dios es amor. Dios es amor. Dios es amor.
Buen provecho.
Buon
Mahlzeit.
Wildkräutern aus dem Garten. Fenchel, Calendula,
Frisch gezähmte,
Kapuzinerkresse.
frisch gezähmte Wildkräuter.
Frisch gezähmte Wildkräuter.
Aus dem friedlichen Westteil der Insel.
About 2 kilometers from the Platan Sea in Hungary lies the community of Krishna Valley, whose goal is to create a natural lifestyle that is physically and spiritually harmonious. The seed of this possibility is given in the sacred scriptures of India, the Vedas, and was embraced by Swami Prabhupada, the founder of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. The people who live here strive for 2 common goals: self-realization and service to Krishna, whom they believe represents God in human form.
A lot of communities have this problem that everyone has their own individual goal, and it creates so much conflict. You know, one person is interested in one thing and another person is interested in another. And certainly, you know, there are still individual people here, so there are individual interests. But the overarching goal of everyone is to serve God. And since we have that common goal in mind, then there's more possibility for success in this community, because we have that focus.
We really have to emphasize the social sustainability part. And social sustainability means that we should have a common value system here. And recently there was a university study what said that a society cannot be sustainable if the society is lacking of 3 things: a school, a temple, and a place to get together. If these 3 things are not there, then the society will not be sustainable.
Those who live here are working voluntarily in service to God and to the world. Around 150 adults and 12 children live on Krishna Valley's 230 hectares. The village has its own school where, in addition to normal subjects, there is a focus on developing love and appreciation for God and for the whole of God's creation.
We teach the children here how to love God, and it means not just one person, God, but it means his associates as well, and his creature as well, energies. So it contains that we should respect other living entities, our friends, other humans, other living beings like in the nature, like animals, trees, the land. So this is the whole meaning of loving of God. So practically we do some spiritual practices, learn some philosophy, do things like that. And regarding the nature, we try to serve the nature. This is the way of loving, serving. Serving is the expression of loving. Loving is not just an emotion, but an action. So we try to do something. For the least things, we collect the litter on the ground, or do another things. Go to the harvest festival when devotees harvest the grains. Schoolgirls, schoolboys go as well and do the harvest with them together. So they can feel that direct connection with the nature, that we are depending on the nature, and we are depending on God.
The temple in Krishna Valley is dedicated to Krishna. It's used daily for many purposes: meditation, prayer, dancing, celebration, taking meals, and sometimes even for the joyful shared work like pumpkin harvesting and processing.
When you follow the Vedic literatures, which are our scriptures, then it describes how to live in a proper way. Cities are destroying the environment, cars and factories and industry. All of this is having a horrible effect on the world around us. Meat eating also. This is having an effect on the environment, cutting down the rainforest, using so much land to grow grains, to feed the animals so we can kill the animals so we can eat them. But in Krishna consciousness, we just eat grains and vegetables and fruits and milk, which is easy to produce. We don't need so many cars. We don't need cars. We don't need tractors. We're using oxen here.
In Krishna Valley, the cow is sacred. What we would call animal husbandry or livestock farming, they call cow protection. Every cow and every ox is treated as an individual and is under the protection of the devotees of Krishna until he or she dies a natural death. Unfortunately, the oxen must be castrated and have rings placed through their noses. This is part of the reality of animal husbandry. Krishna Valley is a good example of a nearly self-sufficient community. It produces more than 90% of its own food. Thousands of tourists come every year. They either camp or stay in the guest houses. They join in the colorful ceremonies, celebrations, and cultural events of the Krishna community.